And rescue helicopter crew based in Waterford are on duty 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. A new crew have just come on duty, but there is little time to settle into the shift. A call has come in that an RNLI training mission has gone terribly wrong.
I was actually just wrapping up my paperwork because the shift ends at 1 o'clock, and we got a call from the Coast Guard that 2 red flares had been seen at Wexford Harbour. We were there within about 15 minutes. En route, we were given the information that it was actually the Wexford IRB that was in difficulty. These are people that we've worked with on a regular basis and we know.
An IRB is a small inflatable inshore rescue lifeboat. It usually has a crew of 3 or 4 RNLI volunteers.
Just off Ravens Point, lads.
We'll just go beyond the waterline, then we'll turn, we'll cruise along it and back in and round.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm expecting a flare. If someone is in the water, they're going to pop one up for us when they see us.
The crew on duty are pilot Peter Mackenzie Brown, co-pilot Ronan Flanagan, winch operator Chris Maddy and winchman Mike Sandover.
Quite a fierce sea to be in, 40, 50 knot winds, a swell of around about 2 metres, but because of the shallower water, a lot more wave action.
The Wexford RNLI are out on a routine training mission in an area which is known for its cross currents and unpredictable waves. A red flare indicates that something has gone wrong.
I have something happened at 3 o'clock.
Visual right.
Turn it right.
My target, following it through, I have control. 2 o'clock, red flare seen.
Okay.
On the nose now.
The 3 RNLI volunteers have been out of radio communication for over an hour. 2 of the crew are clinging to an upturned rib beyond the surf line. However, the situation is worse than expected. 1 crew member is missing.
I saw in a very distance a flash of light, and I knew it would be the helicopter. It came approaching quite low and very, very fast over the harbour. I said to Dermot, "Can you hang on for another while? We're okay here." And he said, "Yeah." So we worked out a signal to give to the helicopter.
2 of the guys were on the underside of the overturned boat, but they were indicating to the west of them for the 3rd person, and we had information that the crew was a crew of 3.
Okay, go for it. Swimmer first. Moving forward, moving right.
The longer the 3rd crew man is in the water, the risk of hypothermia and drowning increases.
The last I saw of Simon, he was northeast of the boat on the Raven Point side.
We then did an initial search for the 3rd person because that man is in the water and he's obviously in a lot more difficulty. At that point he'd been in the water an hour, but again these guys, they're in immersion suits with life jackets, spray hoods, so the length of time they can survive in water is vastly greater than, say, a normal person falling in their daytime clothes.
Pilot Peter Mackenzie Brown has to make a decision: rescue the 2 visible crew members or search for the missing man in the water.
That felt bittersweet because, Jesus, the helicopter is going away from us, but at least it's going for Simon. And then we saw it sweeping up and down.
This is not funny, is it?
Oh, just keep looking. Just keep your eyes clear, lads. He's here somewhere, lads. So
He is here somewhere, Christy.
Okay, see the lifeboat coming into this external.
Rescue 117, this is Rob Cawley Lifeboat on 16, do you read over? Where would you like us to proceed to? Over.
I'll tell him to come straight over to us.
Tell the boat to come straight to us, yeah.
With the lifeboat now on scene, pilot Peter Mackenzie Brown decides to prioritise the rescue of the 2 visible survivors.
I was more concerned at that point then that, look, these guys are getting cold on the back of the boat. We'll get them on board. But it also means that we've got a trained person on board that can help us with the search, more importantly about where they capsized.
And then I saw the helicopter turn towards us and I said, "Grace is getting it," and feel really guilty that it meant that if he was turning towards us, it didn't spot Simon.
Winchman Mike Sandover is sent down to retrieve the 2 men.
It's great to see a familiar face and you recognise who's coming down. So Mike came down, got the strap over Dermot, and it was very quick because both Dermot and I have done a lot of training on the sea, knew exactly what to do with your hand. It was weird. It was all my training and all, been on the lifeboat for 11 years, all the experience is about being the rescuer, and you're kind of mentally set up for the rescuer. And here during this whole thing, we were the rescued.
Left 2 now, I'm forward. Left 1, I'm forward. And you're clear forward now, forward 3. Drifting away was forward 5 now. Got the door there now, on 11-7. Okay, good. I'm bringing them inboard. Happy enough? Check clear the winch.
You're clear the winch.
Roger.
The second crewman, Peter, is in considerable pain. He has possible broken ribs, so winching to the aircraft is going to hurt.
He's up at the door there now.
Okay.
As soon as the guys put the microphone on, the headset on, I actually switched mode again, and I was back to how the hell are we going to find Simon?
We capsized that direction about 3/4 of a mile, and we got separated. Current dragged us out into the deeper water.
Okay, Mike, what I want you to do is...
The last I saw him, he was heading that way.
Okay, what we'll do is we're going to fly towards where you last saw him. If we're going left to right, just tell us, okay?
Okay.
As each minute ticks away, the hope of finding the third crew member fades. All eyes are now desperately searching the waters below.
I had directed the helicopter north to northwest, so it did a search there for about 10 minutes. Because I know that area fairly well, but I was quite disorientated because I'm not used to seeing it from a few hundred feet up. I was steering them in the wrong direction because the last I had seen of Simon was northwest of us, and working with the guys to work out where the tides were going and what the currents were doing, because there was so much fresh water in the river, it was making the currents slightly different than they are normally.
Rossler Lifeboat. We've sighted a person on the beach at the Raven Point. Can you confirm, is it one of the Coast Guard personnel, or is it possibly the lifeboat crew member? Over.
The lifeboat has just said they've seen a person. On that person now standing up.
It's the news they've been waiting for. The third crew member, Simon Gulliver, has been found alive and picked up by the lifeboat.
A couple of occasions when things were looking a bit grim, I found myself shouting out loud, "I'm not going to die today." Which is a bit peculiar. Being out there in the middle of the sea on my own, shouting at the top of my voice. The helicopter passed me twice on the runs up and down, and each time I presumed they'd spotted me, and then they'd disappear off again into the distance. During the whole ordeal, there's only maybe one time when I thought the outcome of this isn't going to be good. I could see things. I could see my wife telling the kids that Daddy's not coming home today. No.
As Simon has been in the water so long and is at risk of hypothermia, the helicopter crew winch him on board to get him to hospital as soon as possible.
The pilot was probably wondering why the three guys in the back of the helicopter were holding hands on the way to water.
It's these lovely pre-warm sleeping bag type things, and they just wrapped around, and we were like a nest of chickens in the helicopter.
The most important thing in those circumstances is that everyone's on board, and the worry about a crew member that's not there is gone. Well, it's good, it's job done. That's what we're here for.